Hedgie Chins here, back with another video. So today's going to be like a Q&A and then a discussion that I think is important. So let's start with the Q&A. I'm actually here with, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm here with Gizmo. I don't know if you could see him, but he's just having playtime while I make this video. And don't mind me, I'm just going to eat some olives while I'm filming this. So let's start with the Q&A. That was weird. Must be college people going crazy outside. So, I'm going to answer a couple of questions that were asked. Let's see. I'm going to start. So, I'm going to start with a couple questions that Hammy Love AJ had. So, she had a couple of questions. Let's see. So, her question was, when you put a fleece on your cage, how thick should it be? So there's a couple of different ways you could buy fleece pre-made from shops. Like Zoe and Lilo's Toy Box sells pre-made liners for the Ferret Nation. And they're really well made. The only thing I will say about her liners, they could be a little bit bigger. That way you could clip it onto the side. It doesn't really work to just put a fleece liner down like you can do with guinea pigs. You have to clip it because chins will rip it and they'll throw it everywhere. So it should be pinned down. Usually I buy 2 layers of fleece and I double layer it, but you need an absorbent layer. So I would suggest perhaps purchasing pre-made liners with an absorbent layer in between, like U-Haul padding is great. It's very absorbent and you don't have to waste money on puppy training pads, which I'm working on. So 2 to 3 layers is good enough. It's not absorbent though. You'd still need an absorbent layer of some sort. Puppy training pads work well, but you need to clip the fleece down really good, because what happens is the chins will dig under it and they will shred the puppy training pads. Mines love to do that. They don't eat it, they'll just shred it and throw it everywhere. So that's that. Let's see the next question. When you held your chin, did you get fur on your shirt? If your chin is shedding on your clothing while you're holding them, it's nothing to worry about. Usually it's just, they just shed. So you will see fur. If they're coming out in clumps and your chin's a single chin, it's not living with anybody, I would suggest maybe taking a visit to the vet. It could be some type of bug. Ticks can't live in chinchilla fur because it's so thick that they just can't breathe. I think the only bug that can really live on a chin is a mite. So you might want to check for mites. You could take them to the vet and do that. If your chin is living with another chin and you see clumps coming out, you might want to keep an eye on them. If they're fighting, if you see any hair pulling, separate them immediately. But other than that, if you see just a little bit of fur on your shirt, that's completely normal. Don't worry about it. Let's see, any more questions? We'll talk about the dust bath in just a minute. Someone did ask me about a dust bath. Let's see. Is it safe to hold your chinchilla up in the air by its tail? No. You'll see breeders doing it. You'll see people at mills, people at pet stores doing it. I wouldn't do it. It's not nice. I just don't. I just think it's mean. Like, just don't do that, okay? Don't hold anything up by its tail. It's not nice. It's, like, inhumane. It's terrible. Of course, breeders are going to do it, especially backyard breeders. They're just trying to make an easy buck, and they usually do that to check the gender. Don't hold your chinchilla up by its tail, though. It's just not nice. Just don't do it. Even if it's safe, I wouldn't do it. I remember one time when I first got Rodolfo, I accidentally pulled his tail trying to get him. He had escaped from his cage, and I was trying to catch him, and I accidentally pulled his tail. Oh my god, he was so mad at me. I felt so bad. I was crying. I was like, please forgive me. And I never did it again. I don't mess with my chin's tails. I don't hold them by their tails. It's not nice. They're usually, those chins will usually end up being aggressive because they're afraid that somebody's going to pick them up by their tails. So don't do that. Let's see. So we're going to talk about the dust bath. Let me see if I can grab my container real quick. I'll be right back. Don't eat mommy's olives. Shouldn't be eating olives anyway. Okay. So dust for chins, I use the Blue Cloud dust. Any Blue Cloud marking is really great, no matter what brand it is. Living World has the Blue Cloud dust, and a couple other brands. The Blue Cloud is the best dust to use. In some countries, they sell sand for chinchillas, and I would not use sand because it's... Don't fall. Okay. It's very rough on their fur. It's going to rough up their fur, and it's not going to keep their fur nice. This keeps their fur nice and soft. So the Blue Cloud dust looks like this. It literally looks like ashes or something. It is ashes. It's a volcanic ash. And this one is by Sunseed. And I usually buy the bigger jar just because it lasts longer. So yeah, any Blue Cloud dust, stay away from the sand though. It's really not good. They do sell the sand, but always remember, just because it says chinchilla on it and you get it from the pet store does not make it safe. So please do the research and don't just buy something thinking that it's okay without doing research prior to that. Let's see. What are you doing? So someone asked about grooming a chinchilla. So this is really what you do for as far as grooming goes. This keeps everything intact. This also kills any bugs that might be on them. This is really great. This is great if they have a cut. This will close it off. This keeps their fur nice and soft. So this is really it as far as grooming. Chinchillas don't like to be held. Some don't mind being held, but you shouldn't really be holding them for long periods of time, mainly because the heat, the natural heat that we have on our hands can make them overheat. So don't hold your chinchilla for so long. And I mean, as far as brushing them goes, you really don't need to. This does everything. Their hair is so soft it doesn't get tangled. It may get tangled if you do have them on the sand, though. So I would I'd stick to Blue Cloud dust. Don't use any other dust, just because it says dust. Make sure it's Blue Cloud. It's the best kind out there. I wouldn't brush my chin. Stop it! Shh. They just don't, they're not going to stay still long enough anyway, and there's really no point in brushing your chin. So this is pretty much it for grooming. So you can use this, and some people put it in like a kitchen bowl, and they'll just toss in it, or you can buy the chinchilla bathhouse. Mine's on the floor right now. He's using it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for dust and grooming. No baths. Do not get your chinchilla wet. And I think I mentioned this already, but the reason that chins can't get wet is because their fur is so dense and it's so thick that when water touches their skin, there's no ventilation for the water to dry, thus it creates fungus on their skin. And we don't want that because it can kill them, obviously. So do not give your chin a bath. Oh, that video just made me so upset. I know a couple of you saw it. I did read your comments on that video. Just keep disliking it and keep putting bad comments on there. And now I really wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things. One being, I would like you guys to share my videos, and I really want to do something for YouTube to create a button when you report a video. Say you see a bad video on YouTube and you want to report it. There should be an animal abuse button, and there's not. I would like there to be. If we can all just spread the word, make YouTube put an animal abuse button on the report, because it is done on YouTube. Unfortunately, it's done, and I hate to see it, but we've all come across those kinds of videos, and it makes us all sad. But we need to make that known so that they can do something about it. Not just take it off YouTube, but take action against the people who put that video on YouTube. And, I mean, that's something we can all do to help the community, which is really what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So I want to talk to you guys about being human. And I want to talk to you about the definition of what I think being human means. Being human means, to me, being loving, gentle, kind, forgiving. We make mistakes, and we know we're not perfect, but we try to correct them and we live the best life that we can. I think human is being a healer, an educator, a promoter. I think that we can all be doing something to better our communities, to better, spread the word out there, make it more aware of all kinds of things. There's so many things that happen. Even here in the United States, they say that we're free, we live in a safe place, but really that's not the case. Shh, shh, shh. Gizmo. Down. And I think we could all be doing something to help our communities. There's so many things that happen here, and we don't do anything about it. So before I stopped going to PetSmart, shopping at PetSmart, this was a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, just about. I went to PetSmart, and in the parking lot, someone left their 2 dogs unattended in the car. No ventilation of any kind, and I did report it. We need to do these things to help each other out, to better our community. That's really the only way that problems will get fixed. And I have zero tolerance for animal abusers of any kind. And animal abuse, I want you all to know, could be as small as keeping your animal in improper enclosures and giving them the wrong diet because you can't afford it or you don't really care. And that happens so much. It happens way too much. And that is one kind of animal abuse. I do see that as animal abuse, whether you want to see it that way or not. You buying your kid a guinea pig in a pet store cage, improper enclosures, improper diet, not giving it attention, saying, well, this is my child's responsibility. If she doesn't feed it, then she needs to learn that, this is her responsibility and she does need to feed it. No. Gizmo, hold on. Parents, that is a type of animal abuse. You are an animal abuser. I'm sorry to say it, but that's what it is. And some of us ignore that, but it is animal abuse because your kid doesn't remember to feed the hamster or to feed the guinea pig, to feed the chinchilla, to feed the fish. That's animal abuse because you know that your child didn't feed it, you need to feed it. Easy as that. An animal cannot be in the sole custody of your child. You need to be just as involved. If you notice that the guinea pig hasn't eaten in a couple of days, that's animal abuse. And it happens. It does. It happens way too much. And it shouldn't happen at all. It really shouldn't. So that's one type of abuse. The other type of abuse could be someone actually going all the way and being in the pet trade industry, beating and murdering animals for the sake of doing it. I also find trophy hunting as animal abuse. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Kendall Jones, the trophy hunter, and all of the others just like her. I have zero tolerance for that because I want to say that animals some people don't see it this way, but I think that animals should have, the right to be free just like we are. They should have the right to graze among the grass. They should have the right to live in their homes safely without worrying that someone's going to come and shoot them. Animals should have that right. Kendall Jones, I keep up sometimes with her on Facebook just to see what animals she's shot now. And a couple weeks ago, she posted a story about a woman who was killed by a lion. And she said, "This is such a sad story, and this is why, something about lions and that they're dangerous animals." No, lions and wild creatures are not dangerous. We are dangerous to them. By you getting on a plane, going to Africa or wherever you're going to do your trophy hunting and killing these animals, you are invading their territory, not the other way around. That woman probably did something to provoke him. Most likely, she probably shot at him. I mean, I have no sympathy for people like that. She got killed by a lion, and some people would say, "Oh my God, you're such a horrible person. You have no sympathy for a woman who passed away because she got killed by a lion that did whatever to her." No, I don't, because she probably did something to him. And if she didn't, excuse me, I give sympathy, and my heart goes out to that family. But, for example, if something happened to one of these notorious trophy hunters, I think we would all be pretty blessed, because in a few years, when we have children and our children have children, there's still going to be wildlife left, because trophy hunters have been, demolished or something. And it's wrong, just because it's not done here in the United States. And I forgot what airline it was, but they are working on closing all airlines down to bringing animals back. They're mostly all airlines did transport animal trophies from all over the world, but they're trying to completely stop that, which I think is great, and kudos to all those airlines that did that. We animal lovers really appreciate that. That really came from the bottom of my heart. I really mean that. Trophy hunters. And the reason I think Kendall Jones is so stupid, let me just say this. She claims to be an animal lover and a vegan, but she hunts animals for fun. All kinds of animals. Ducks, cats, like wild cats, like bobcats. Wildlife. Her first kill was an endangered white rhino. People are just so ignorant, and I don't believe that is a sport. That is murder. It is murder. It's not a sport. It's people being ignorant, and because what happens is, like, say for example, a man sometimes, or a woman, we rarely hear cases about women, but usually the men, but sometimes women, is the more dominant person in a relationship, and how they take out the anger of things that happen, in their daily lives, is to go home and beat on their spouse or their partner. And as a replacement, I believe that trophy hunting kind of replaces that for some people. And I do believe that I really think that trophy hunting is murder. And it's inhumane. Those people do not deserve the title human. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I was going to say that not all of us deserve the title human. I really believe that. Not all of us deserve that title. That's a very precious title, and there's a lot of us that aren't human. We're something else that we can't figure out. Please report anything. If you see somebody doing something wrong, a friend, as hard as it may be, if you know that your friend has, I don't even know, say your friend has a chinchilla in a really small space and you know that it's wrong, tell them something. Say, I can help you better your animal's life and make you happy too. Try and help a friend out, do that kind of thing. If you see stuff like people leaving their dogs in their car, that's illegal. You can get fined, and I think you can go to prison for that. So please report it. Don't do nothing. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I really appreciate all of your comments. It makes me so happy. I smile every time I get a comment. Any questions, comments, concerns, please comment below. I read everything. It might take me a day or two to answer. The school year just started, so everything's pretty wacky, but I will respond. So I will see you all next week. Any videos that you want to see, comment below, and I'll be happy to make them. But I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye.